10 million Bellinals. Adam, holy crap, man. How did we get there this fast? Is this what happens when inscriptions are literally less than a penny?
Well, I think we saw it a bit on whatever Doginals as well, right? When it's super, super inexpensive, yeah, you just get this massive wave of shit coinery, to say the least. I don't know. We can get into it. We'll get into it with the Nook and the different like metrics of some of these, the tokenomics, if you will, of some of these Bellscriptions. It's crazy. So yeah, we can get into all that. Get into some details so people understand what the heck's going on. But yeah, when it's pennies, like literally, like at the beginning, I can't even remember what it was, but it was so little. As I was inscribing using like Ordinals Wallets tool, I was like, is this possible? It's 12 cents and I'm doing, 1,000 inscription. Like it's like that kind of numbers. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, something tells me that might be the highest upside and also the highest downside, right? If you think about it, right? Because if you're looking at all the other inscription ecosystems, I made a post about this yesterday, right? The market cap of some of these is in the tens of billions of dollars, and it's been accruing value for upwards of a decade or more, right? Like Bitcoin has 3 different inscription-like meta protocols. You have Bitcoin ordinals, stamps, and atomicals. And between those 3, the market cap is over $5 billion.
Yeah.
You look at Ethereum, the market cap's almost 300 billion, and they have about 300 million in total value. And with Doginals, the market cap of Dogecoin is around 10 billion, and it's about 70 million in market cap. And that's where you get the highest upside, right? Because you want it. This is just market talk, right? You want the value of the chain to increase while you want the value of your inscriptions to increase, right? That's where the real W is. That was the ETH NFT playbook in 2021. Here, you're on the ground floor of both. The value of the token is pretty much zero. The value of the inscriptions are pretty much zero.
So for the normies out there to understand what Jake's talking about, and this is an interesting thing that I think Leo maybe had the nice graphic from at the birth of Ordinals, which is like, okay, the total value of Bitcoin is it's $1 trillion, right? What is the value of the assets that kind of live on Bitcoin, right? If the total value is $1 trillion, and he broke it down nicely with Ethereum, and the value of Ethereum is $250 billion, and the total value of NFTs is I don't know, $1 billion, whatever it was, right? And to show that like differentiator or that metric, and so when you start thinking about, okay, well, on Litecoin, what's happened on Dogecoin, right? These systems have locked value, but people who own that token, the native token, don't have anywhere to put it, right? They don't have anywhere to kind of interact. And it is interesting because I think that was one of the points with Ordinals at the beginning, which I was like, dude, when are the Bitcoiners going to spend some of their Bitcoin to support the native ecosystem and buy either, Ordinals at the time or anything? When are they going to use the money? And so far, I haven't seen Bitcoiners really loosen up those purse strings like we've seen with Ethereum, where we had literally founders of Ethereum buying high value NFTs. So it's going to be interesting to see, what happens with Litecoin, what happens with Doge especially, because Doge has literally like millions of holders. So it's going to be interesting to see what Doge happens. And Bell's like, look, there's 15 of us, how this goes. I don't know, man. Like, all right, there's 10,000 of us in the Discord, right? But, how many people are actually buying Bells? I was on literally a call yesterday with just some guys spun up, a call in the Discord, and they're trying to figure out how to inscribe natively, on their own computer, downloading the software, going through all these steps, and they're getting frustrated. And totally, it took me like a week to figure this out. But I said to him, like, relax, guys, because the reality is there are like 50 of us in the world doing this right now, right? So if it wins, you're going to win. Like, there's no way this doesn't win if the ecosystem wins. Like, if Bells wins, you're going to win, right? So, kind of savor this time and savor getting inscriptions for a tenth of a penny, because if it takes off, this is going to be a home run, right? But whether it takes off or not, that's the rub.
Yeah, and can you hold if it's going to take 2 to 3 years for that to happen? Will you stay here and maintain your position or will you sell at the exact bottom, which I think all of us have done many, many times. So first and foremost, welcome everybody to the show. I'm going to accept a few of you guys here that are requesting. So if you want to come and join the spaces, please do. We had a few people were not able to make it as some of the infrastructure providers. So we're going to have a really good conversation. Make sure everybody retweets the space. It's pinned to the top. And then if you have any questions, go hit that purple button in the bottom right-hand corner. Post that there. If you don't want to come on stage, we'll make sure that we answer it, as Adam is the god of Bell's Coin. I think he actually might be Billy, just reincarnated. Dogfather, man, first, let's make the rounds, and then we'll get into discussion. Dogfather, our favorite analytic provider. What is good?
Hey, guys. What's good? Can you hear me okay? I'm trying a new setup in my car.
No, bro. No. Go back to your old setup, bro. Yeah, the whatever, you got the wireless, voice to talk or whatever. It's it sounds like you're in a I don't know, a tin can.
Yeah, like a military vehicle or something.
So give me a minute, I will change.
Yeah. No worries, man. See, this what happens. The systems within the Porsches don't have the best audio setup for spaces. I know Dogfather talks about that a lot, how Porsche really needs to upgrade their audio setup. But anyway, what's going on, Chris?
Hello.
Oh, somebody's jumping.
Guys, you will been talking about trying to figure out how to mint using our computer. It was me and my team, like we are 5 of us.
Oh, cool, man.
To mint using our computers. Like we're trying hard for 3 days without sleeping. Try to figure out a way to mint using terminals. We had a ton of problems. I lost like $100 doing some like transaction, and it was stuck. So we are losing money to get more information about this blockchain. But it's okay. I know someday everything will be like Bitcoin. I have a huge potential for this project.
Yeah, we believe it as well. Dude, just generally when you're entering a new space, always start with a very low amount of money that you're willing to lose, because in early blockchain creation, there's going to be a lot of issues, which we're going to go ahead and cover. Dazzling, do you have something to say?
Yes, basically what the gentleman just said. I tried to mint Inscription on the 29th, but I was getting the error. I could not connect to the. It was throwing the URL error, and I don't know. This is my second week. I'm trying to find a way to be able to mint the inscriptions, and I wish you guys have some alternative to do that. I'm even today I plan on reformatting my system, because I don't know if it's my Windows Defender firewall, but I disabled that both on public and private network, and I'm still unable to. I think there are some modules that I'm not able to download from when I do the download. The zip folder from GitHub.
Yeah.
I was even thinking to get another laptop.
Honestly, that's what I did. Believe it or not, I just bought a new laptop, and like a cheap laptop, because my kid needed a new laptop for school, and so I was like, oh well, let me get a new laptop, because I could not get it working. I tried on virtual machines, could not get it working. And so I ended up buying, a $500 laptop for my kid, and that actually ended up working. Not to say it'll work for you, but that ended up working. And I did follow exactly that Google Doc guide that's in the guide channel in the Discord. I followed that exactly, and it did end up working.
Yeah, I did that last night. it's pretty handy. The document is really well written.
Mhm.
So, but I still have the same issue, and it's coming from my system. That I'm for sure, I know. But that's what we are facing. I wish there was another way to be able to do the minting, because I missed a lot. I was there to mint on the first day, and I missed so much.
I'm only laughing, my friend, because this is blockchains, right? It's like I was there at the birth of ordinals. I've told it many times, but I completely missed ordinals. Could not get the node working. I was there day one. I was there before it launched, trying to get my node working. So I know the frustration. I think it's less difficult than ordinals, because simply I was able to get this working, but not to discount that this is not easy. It's not, for somebody who's not technical, this is very difficult, I would say. And so I understand your pain. There are a couple of options now. Obviously, Ordinals Wallet, which we'll get into, which on its own has tremendous issues because it's so new and they're trying to figure it out. And I just got word that Graham Bell has his inscription tool is up and running again. So I'll look for that post and I'll try and pin that up top as well.
Okay, cool. What laptop did you buy? I'll try.
Oh, just a garbage, I don't know, Lenovo something. I don't even know what it was,
Okay.
Yeah. There is no, you don't need any particular setup. I don't think you need anything particular as far as like memory or anything like that goes. I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but I don't think it requires like a special laptop.
Yeah, I'm gonna reformat my current one and try to download the Windows 7 to see if that has less restrictions.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm really, I really don't want to miss.
All right. Well, good luck, man. Let's go to Dogfather. You're back, man?
Yeah, I'm back trying. I mean, I was on purpose taking the Lambo today and not the Porsche.
See, those Lambos are notorious for terrible tech. Terrible tech.
Man, next time I take another one, man. Just go to the garage and roll the dice and take whatever numbers is given. So now I'm back on the airports. Yeah, I was max minting on Saturday. At least I tried my luck. Already, posted a bit about under your tweet, Adam. It was actually working quite well. The only thing, at some point, it really broke down and nothing was working again on my side.
Yeah.
And I thought, you were playing around with the slider, the number of mints with Nuke. And I tried a few. I think beyond 500, this was not working. There was some error saying, even if you had the max kind of fees of 5,000, this was not taking it. So then I tried a few times 500, and but only a handful were showing up in the browser in the wallet. So let's see whether they re-index or they're showing up. But it was working, so I can confirm it works. And you see the Nuke in your wallet, and it's actually cheap. And they will definitely work it out. I mean, they have like chat devs on this wallet, so I'm not worried, and it's definitely worth. I mean, to everyone. I mean, you should always max mint the first token. I mean, this is like a no-brainer. I mean, Jake is saying that like all the times, always the first token on a protocol. You can't lose. I mean, honestly, you can't lose because of dollars, and there is no downside. I mean, there is no downside except the few dollars and your time. And there is no bottom. I mean, we are at the bottom. It's like zero, and you can only win. So, guys, mint out this Nuke thing, and and we will have fun. I mean, it's even likely that the first token may have a higher market cap than the bear market cap. I mean,
that is something we've talked about. It is completely possible.
What's the current market cap of Bell's coin? Do we know?
Bell's coin, because it has this really, I mean, it's actually very similar to like early Bitcoin, which is basically the miners are mining anywhere from 300 to 400,000 Bell per day right now. So that's the amount being dumped into the market for like the next 60 days. Then that gets cut in half for another, I think, 90 days or 180 days. and then it gets cut in half again. So at the end of a year, basically the Bell supply goes to like, it's like then it drops to like 1 million a year. So it gets up to like 60 million over the next year. And then it's only 1 million a year for the next 400 years. Right. So it is this high ramp, which I had a kind of joking discussion in the Discord today where guys like, we need to get more users to support the price. And I was like, why not just let the price dump to whatever, 5 cents or 10 cents? It allows everybody in the Discord to like accumulate, right? For like the super cheap. And then if the blockchain actually works and is still here in a year, you know, then you might have some like price appreciation. So, you know, I have no idea what the price is going to do, but I think the idea of just bringing in 1 million users to support a price that's going to have, you know, 400,000 new Bell every single day for the next 60 days or something. I'm like, okay, we need all of crypto to come into Bell to support like some crazy price. So it's very, very possible, you know, that Nook actually has a bigger market cap than Bell in the long run. I think Bell's market cap right now, like somebody put it in like yesterday, because of the number of, you know, Bell tokens there are times whatever the Bell price is, whatever, 30 cents or whatever. The total market cap of Bell is like $3 million right now or something like that. So it's super, super small.
I love that. I remember in 2017 during the ICO boom, I think it was Status. I think that was like the messaging dApp on Ethereum. Almost flipped Ethereum at the time. I think it was Status.
Really?
Never actually happened. It's always been Ethereum. I don't think I've ever seen that actually happen where an app, or in this case, an inscription, a token flips the actual underlying asset. I don't know if it would make definitely great memes if that were to happen, if Nook flipped the entire market cap of Bell's coin. So that'll be pretty exciting. First, I want to call on Chris. I want to say hello to our newest member of Emblem that we announced. Everyone make sure that you go and follow him. How are you feeling, man?
GM boys. Feeling good. Came down with a kind of crazy cold for the last couple days, but we're on the recovery. We're going strong. Bells, man, 10 million inscriptions is pretty nuts. It just hit 5 million the other day. I saw the post. I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. It's getting like some really solid organic traction. But then to see it hit 10 million and just kind of keep cruising and still have a ton of excitement around it is pretty cool. I know Adam talks about, you know, if it survives this time around, I was kind of thinking, what if, you know, say something, you know, it kind of just kind of falls back down, maybe the energy levels or something, and then someone would rediscover it again. In like 10 years. That's what's funny about blockchains is that, you know, you still have the artifacts that'll be timestamped in history. So I don't know. No one knows what the future is going to be, but it's definitely a pretty fun experiment so far. And I love seeing the energy around it. Adam's absolutely crushing it. He's just so funny that he became the godfather of the entire blockchain, but well deserved. It's awesome.
It is hilarious. We're going to go to Phil and then Dogfather.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Nice to be here. Thanks for the invite. Yeah, I'm just baffled, man, by the rapidity and how fast we got up to this point. It's absolutely crazy. You know, I joined, you know, the Discord maybe, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. You know, it's just been insane learnings. Shout out to Adam, man. Shout out to Archer from Hell's Bells. Shout out to Stad, man. Shout out to Nessie, who's not here today. But man, I mean, it's just been, you know, crazy. And, you know, just to see where we were like last week, 2 weeks ago up to there, it's truly fascinating. And we're experimenting one of the very first HBAR inscribing, if I can say it that way. It's called HCS20. So it's mostly around the same concept. So it's really fascinating to see all this ecosystem just growing and attention being back. So it's fun to see. Again, super happy to be here. It's one hell of a ride, and hell yeah, thanks for you guys.
Yeah, it really is. Again, I think this is probably the closest you'll get to a free and fair mint in a modern day crypto, to where, you know, when Bitcoin started, really the only fair thing you could do was mine. But here, the free and fair mint extends to literally every ecosystem: mining, trading, building, Bell 20, NFTs, right? And Bellinals. You could participate in any of these ecosystems and literally be on the ground floor. Or if you just want to be You know, if you just want to commandeer and become one of the leaders, you just participate in all of them and have a good time. So that's one of the fun things that I've been watching. Go ahead, Dogfather, and then we're gonna go to Sterling and talk about Hell's Bells right after that.
Yeah, so just to reiterate the nuke idea, I mean, now we have this expansionary phase for bells, you know, on the main protocol level because of the next 60 days. So if nuke is minting out in the next like days, which is not unlikely if we have more inscription tools, then we have a capped supply on the nuke while bells is expanding. So there may be a play for some people to really concentrate on nuke trading because it's the capped supply, so they know what's going on. While the main currency, the bells, may go down a bit, and that brings me to the second point: max accumulation of bells at the end of that period, because then it's just getting better.
Yeah, infrastructure is ready to improve. All right, Sterling, man. Last time we had this call and we were on your show, we were theorizing Hell's Bells, and then literally 3-4 days later, all of a sudden, you were inscribing Hell's Bells and had a health token. Give us first let's go through this a little bit, because I see the project is getting a lot of attention. First, give us the story of how Hell's Bells came to be.
Absolutely. So me and one of my co-founders, Nessie, she's out in Australia, so she's sleeping right now, couldn't be here. But we were talking to you, Jake. We were talking about Doginals. And when we were preparing for that show, this was on, I just checked, December 21st. So that's how quickly this is all coming together. On December 21st, we had Jake on our show, 2 guys, 1 girl, Web3, all that crap. And we were talking Doge, and the Bell chain had been revived for about a week at that point in time. So we added a couple of questions in, and Adam happened to be in the crowd, and Adam got up on stage and we're talking. And Adam, you mentioned, and at the time we were calling them Bellscriptions, not even Bellinals. And you said, yeah, no one's even made a Bellscription yet, or something like that. And within about 10 seconds, Nessie and I had messaged each other going, we can do this. And then we had our artist Pixelstad, the man downstairs here. He's in the audience. He mocked up a couple of PFPs for us within like 18 hours. And then within about 24 hours, we had 500 Twitter followers on a project we kind of just made up on the fly. But the vibes in Bells has been fantastic. Like we've talked about it, right? Like the 21st, no one had inscribed anything. By the 23rd or 24th, right around Christmas time, Graham had inscribed Bell Rocks, and a couple other people had cracked it. And then by like the 28th, we had over 500,000 inscriptions, and it was just batshit insane. It's been so cool to be a part of this.
So here I've pulled up here on the live stream. I think you just made this post about 4 hours ago, just talking about the introduction of Hell and the Hell economy. It says Hell is a Bell 20 launched at the end of 2023 that served the experiment to teach the community how to inscribe. You also inscribed a handful of images. So it's right here. It says Hell, the Bell 20 token has a supply of 666,666,666, right on par. Which came first? Was it the images or the token? And how did you end up distributing this?
Images came first. Well, actually, okay, let me think on this for a second. So they came about just about the same time. So what happened was we're sitting around in our like team war room, and we're trying to figure out how do we crack the inscription process. And we were able to get in touch with Graham from Bell's Coin, who helped us out, crack the code a little bit. And we started inscribing our project, and we had everything sitting in the mempool. And I started seeing, I'm like, well, everyone's saying these are JSONs. And then we just heard Dogfather talking about Nook. So we found out about Nook and other Bell 20s. And I said, well, has anyone launched Hell yet? We should probably, secure that ticker. So we did. And our dev, who's in the audience as well, suggested the count be 666,666,000, for obvious reasons, for fun. And then we sort of let it be. As a team, we minted 10% to the team account. I myself have no Hell. Neither does Pixelstad, to the best of my knowledge, at least. And I know Nessie doesn't. Our plan is we are going to, upon mint out, drop 10,000 Hell to each holder, for each token. So if you have 2, you get 20,000. If you have 1, you get 10, and so on and so forth. that's going to be used in our server. So initially, what we're going to be doing is, it's nothing groundbreaking, right? We've all been in servers where they have a Discord economy. You can buy whitelists or services or an honorary or things like that, and that's what we're going to use ours for. So the basic premise is every Sunday we're going to open up a channel called the Bank, and you go into that channel, you have a conversation. How much are you depositing into the bank? If you say you want to deposit 1,000 hell into the bank, so we give you a treasury account, a wallet address. You send the 1,000 hell. We credit your account with 1,000 Discord, whatever else, and then you can use that to buy goods and services from our shop. Our plan is eventually, or at least we've talked about it, so nothing set in stone, is what if we have another talented artist besides Pixarstad in the server, and he wants to, get his work out there. He wants to sell some art. Well, maybe he can, charge hell in our server to sell some of his work and get his name out there and use some self-promotion. So what we want to do is we just want to foster a community on Bell Chain that is familiar to anyone who comes over from Ethereum or Bitcoin or Doge, right? We want our community to just be welcoming and inviting, and despite the theme being hell, we're all a bunch of good people just hanging out and having fun, and that's kind of what we're trying to build here.
Adam, do you know of any other projects that have popped up on Bell's coin in terms of just Bell and Null projects?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's the early one. I'd have to look in on X, but I think they inscribed somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 200 early ones, and now they're gonna do I think a PFP along with it. So there's the Bell Rocks, which Graham inscribed. Then there was that one, which I think was 200. It was little different sprites were done, but I need to look it up. And guys, come up or tell me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to remember the other ones, but I think those were the kind of the Rocks, Hell's Bells, and then that other one, which was early, sub 400 inscriptions. I think were the kind of 3 ones I'm thinking of.
Yeah, just to
and of course the punks, of course. Punks were obviously, yeah.
They're always around somewhere.
They're always somewhere.
Just to even recap, right? I think there was 5 million or so Bell inscriptions or Bell annals before any inscription tool had even been created.
Yeah,
it was pretty much right. This was kind of one of the friction points or bottlenecks was that retail, quote unquote retail. I'm calling myself retail as well because I don't know how to code. I wasn't able to inscribe anything because there was no tooling. And so essentially, right, a lot of people got to come in and front run a lot of it. I don't know. Adam, how did the community feel about that? I know on the timeline, there was some tension surrounding that. And that my theory was that inscription numbers may not actually matter in this collection because of the frequency of how many are being created, and also just the sheer point that a majority of people weren't able to come in and inscribe stuff.
For sure. I mean, there was definitely some angst towards the early people who were able to inscribe, which included obviously people who were core developers on Bell, right? People who were there right at the beginning, kind of supporting the blockchain. So, I mean, look, early ordinals, as I said in the Discord, early ordinal guys inscribed all the early ordinals too, right? So it's I understand ordinals was a much slower ramp because it was so difficult to inscribe at the beginning. But the reality was early devs inscribed all the early ordinals, right? I think we were, and Dogfather, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we were over maybe 5,000 ordinal inscriptions before a public tool came available, right? And so this is that on hyper, right? Because it's way easier, meaning that the friction of inscribing is less. The cost is way less, right? It's pennies compared to hundreds of dollars to do ordinals. So I think, that super fast ramp of 5 million or whatever, kind of to be expected. Obviously, the low inscriptions, of course, there's always this value of sub 100, sub 1,000 might have, significantly more value than others. But, what are you going to do? I mean, look, it's a playbook that happened on ordinals, and this is the exact same playbook just on like hyperdrive, right? I just don't know how you could do anything different, right? Is there a way to do, like, I had people saying, well, why didn't you just hold off until the inscription tool is ready? It's like, bro, no inscription tool was going to get built if this thing wasn't launched and had interest. Nobody's going to build to do stuff that nobody's interested in. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
I'm going to jump in here because as someone who is trying to inscribe early, as a team that was trying to inscribe early, I see it a little differently. So let's look at ordinals for a second, just a little bit of history with ordinals. When Casey Rottermore inscribed the first ordinal, he inscribed ordinal 0, and then he released the Gitbook publicly, right? So anyone could go in, use the tech if they had the capabilities, and then inscribe. The Gitbook for the Bellinals was not released to the 60K inscription mark. And until then, it basically took Hell's Bells account and started pleading publicly and got a lot of attention on that. And we asked just about every dev we could find, and they said, no, we're not going to help you, essentially. Graham was the exception. He helped us. But we weren't able to get in until the 60K mark. Everything before that was just was gatekeeping, which is fine. I'm a capitalist, right? Like, you go for it. If you have the tools, you don't want to share it, that's fine. But I will say it is against the spirit of Web3 and the decentralization aspect, which is, this is open source. Once we have a solution, it is my opinion, and everyone's entitled to their different opinion, that should be put into public domain so that all builders can enjoy it and enjoy a level playing field. That's just how I see it personally. I don't hold any ill will to anyone who got in and gatekeeped, but it was frustrating.
I get that. I actually totally agree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. Yeah. I mean, look, but at the end, it's true. And at the end of the day, each one of those devs makes the decision for themselves. Right. And, you know, the idea though, that it's some like, there was no team behind this in a traditional sense of like a team where, you know, I or Luke or anybody else had like control over people to release, you know, some code publicly, because that's just not possible. This is a distributed group of people working on something, and those early devs, you know, who gate-kept, you know, I hear you. I don't disagree with you. I completely agree with you.
Yeah. You know, to be fair, they did offer us the repo for $1,000. So we could have got it in a little earlier, but you know, we made that business choice not to do that. But yeah, no, I get where everyone's coming from. I just wanted to make sure that point was made.
Yeah, I agree with you.
What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I think it's always a matter of balance, because you know what's been great to know about Bells so far is that we had tools that were built so fast that you always need a balance between like this level of degency, like guys going absolutely ham on the thing, and the other balance, you know, when you want it to be known and, you know, well approached at the same time. It's a tough balance sometimes, man.
Yeah, one metric that I look for when I'm entering an emerging ecosystem is how many community created tools have spun up, and how fast did that happen. I remember going back to 2021 during the Mooncat rediscovery, which kind of started off this entire historical NFT narrative. There was literally 5 to 10 different like analytic tools for these cats within like 10 days. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to set off an insane movement. And it did. And then, you know, going back to last year with Bitcoin ordinals, right? Adam and I, we were talking with Casey 3-4 months before mainnet even was launched. And then once it got around, I think around the 1,000 inscription point is when you started seeing different types of tools popping up, where developers saying they're working on it. And within a month, you had like 3 marketplaces, you had multiple inscription services. And that's when we were like, oh, we need to stay here because this is going to be something insanely larger. And then a good, another identifier is seeing the derivatives, or you could say forks of it as well. By beginning of February, you saw Litecoin ordinals pop up, and then Doginals popped up, I think like a few days after that. And I think then there was like testing on Mordinals, which was like Moreno ordinals.
Oh my God.
RIP to that never took off.
Nobody knows who owns them or what they are, but they're there.
And here, right, if you're here, obviously it's extrapolated or it's kind of confided down to one blockchain. But the fact that you have 5 different markets that are major industries in the crypto space form within 30 days, right? Mining, trading, infrastructure, NFTs, fungible tokens, all popped up within a month of each other, and some tools, right? There's like 2 or 3 wallets now. I
mean, there's literally, I just wrote it down. I was like, there's actually 4 wallets, which is crazy. There's obviously the marketplace on Ordinal's wallet, and there's now 2 inscription tools. I just pinned up top. Graham actually pinged me this morning and said, hey, it's back up, and we're actually he's going to be donating a percentage to, development of the ecosystem. And, I think we've all seen that he's a pretty good dude, and I would trust him to honor that. But even not, like, just for an inscription tool that works, we're all kind of searching for that. So again, with it, guys, just go test it out. Don't use a lot of money. Don't use a lot of Bell, but test it, because there were issues before. I wouldn't ape in completely, but give it a test to try it out. I think bellscribe.com. Just to dip your toes in. Don't go full ham with all your Bell, but a little bit, just to try it out and see how it works. I think is certainly worth it as an alternative to Ordinal's wallet, which, for all the negatives, I mean, I want to say, guys, Ordinal's wallet, for them to build a marketplace, an inscription tool, and a wallet, like, I understand it's full of bugs, but it's incredible. That lift of that amount of tech in whatever it is, 2 or 3 weeks, is ridiculous. Like, it's incredible that they're doing it. And I'd give them a little bit of, I know it's a bummer, your bells are tied up, or it's not minting correctly or whatever, but the reality is to spin up that amount of technology in such a short time period and not expect bugs it's literally impossible. Like, you can't do it. So, I like to support them because they're building really the most important tools, in the ecosystem. So I give props to the Ordinal wallet guys for what they're doing.
Yeah, they're nimble. They work really well, and we've been in contact with them. So I pulled up right here, bellscribe.com. The first, I guess, the little disclaimer or note, it says Bellscribe it supports Bell's coin development, and it basically says, to support their tireless efforts, 20% of all service fees collected will be donated to them to further development of the Bell's coin network and ecosystem. And if you go on bellscribe.com, you can inscribe text, tokens, and domains, right? We haven't seen really the narrative of Bell Map, although I know it is minted out. And what's the domain? Is it .bells?
This was up for debate, right? Is it going to be .bell or .bells, or who knows? I have no idea. I know some people were already inscribing that. I didn't inscribe any of them. But yeah, I know that was a narrative that obviously, people were popping up. The maps, that happened so quick. There's Bell Map, and guys, come up and tell me what the different things are. But I've heard there's 2. There's Bell Map, and there's Bell Maps with an S.
Jeez.
I think Bell Map was done by the Ordinal wallet guys. So I'm sure they have a huge fat bag of it. And that minted out, I think, super quick. That was like 1 day to mint that out. So, they may hold half the supply. I have no idea. Literally no clue. Dogfather.
We'll go to hands, and then we'll talk about Ordinal's wallet right afterwards. Was good, Dogfather? Are you on mute?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I was not 100% sure whether I am allowed to speak. So hopefully, I was not too critical about. Hopefully, I was not too critical about Ordinal's wallet. I just wanted to share my experience. I mean, many smaller projects. I mean, I'm part of the Doge Party community. I mean, they would cut a finger, each community member, just to have a wallet there and a marketplace there and all the exposure. I mean, of course, now we're all beta testing, and I'm super happy to do that. Just love to the Ordinal's wallet team. So that was my first wallet after Sparrow. So I love these guys, and it's you have to tell me about when we have a beer in Costa Rica, Adam, how you managed to get them on board. So I really want to know the whole story. Huge props to the devs. It's definitely not simple on bells, building on bells.
Go ahead. Was it Maz? And then we'll go to Kane right after.
Hey guys, what's up? Thank you so much for the invite. Such a great conversations about bells. Pretty excited about it. And as Jake was mentioning earlier, ordinals and ordi distribution and the way it was minted. But guys, don't you see that ordinals today is at higher risk? There is a wallet holds 43% of the supply. What's your take on that?
Of ordi?
Yeah, the ordi coin has some wallet has 43%.
Is this the Gamma controversy where when ordi was minting, it was on Gamma, and Gamma was apparently, I don't know the full extent to it, so somebody may correct me if I was wrong, but something where the ordi was minting on Gamma and Gamma was pocketing or sending a portion of those mints to their treasury of some sort, so they're sitting on like millions of dollars, and they claim that they don't own it. They claim that they don't own keys to this wallet. The community has, from my understanding, diagnosed and said that there has been activity in the wallet, but Gamma claims that they don't own the keys to it. So I think that's I think that's kind of the short end of the story there. But I mean, at this point, right, ordi's at 1.5 billion. It's been adopted. It's been traded. It's on Binance. And now Unisat's kind of taking control of BRC20 for the near term. And they're going forward with Sats. So to me, it seems like Sats is going to end up becoming the more valuable one because of its integration with the Unisat swap and it being, and the fees being paid in Sats as well. But with ordi, I think it's just more of a treasury asset than anything.
Yeah, I think, but from a tokenomics perspective, any coin has a huge percentage of supply somewhere, and we're not sure 100% that supply is locked or burned. It's gonna always have a risk in the overall ecosystem. But anyway, that's not the story. For bells, I'm very excited about it. Simply because anything that started small and decentralized, there is no VC, just purely just degens trying to to figure out how it works and how to mine and how to mint stuff. I think it's gonna have the same road as ordi or stamps. I've been in early stamps, minter, and in the early days, nobody cared about stamps. People, few people in the Telegram group, and I feel the same vibes here with bells. But the real question we should ask ourselves is why Ordinal's wallet picked up bells instead of picking up probably, I don't know, Arbitrum, Atomicals, something else, polls on Polygon. Why did it specifically choose a dead chain and bring it back to life, and then invest the time to create this infrastructure and the minting process so quickly? This is the question that I would love that some of the Ordinal team could enlighten us and tell us exactly from their point of view how they see this moving forward.
Totally. We did, just for transparent, we invited them on the space. Obviously they didn't want to come. Maybe they didn't want to feel the heat of people being mad that their inscriptions were not working or whatever, which is totally understandable. But just to be perfectly transparent, I had literally no conversations with them at all. There were no private DMs asking them to support bells or anything. I don't know. I think he might have been on a space with us, Jake. And then he did tweet later that, like, I don't know, bells has Bitcoin 2013 vibes or something like that. And maybe he just got excited about it. I honestly don't know.
Here, I'll try to add on to it because I know them to a pretty comfortable, friendly level. If you just look, and this is obviously me speculating a little bit, right? If you look at what Ordinal's wallet is doing, they've now added support for Doginals and then bells. So they're intentionally making a play here that they are going to be the Ordinals marketplace for emerging inscription markets. And then whether Magic Eden and Unisat come in and try to commandeer it is to be determined, but they are creating a literal blueprint to where they could probably spin up multiple inscription ecosystems within maybe a few hours. It's really the same playbook that they're running over and over and over. And I applaud them because, you know, they're finding product market fit, at least in the early stages. Obviously, they're taking a huge risk here, right? Because if we're, as we talked about in the beginning of the show, if Bellows has the highest upside, it also has for them, right, the highest downside, because the worst case for them is they're mismanaging their time of weeks to get this together when they could be building other infrastructure, and they could even just get front run by a larger marketplace and kind of lose all of that volume. But they, you know, they're Bitcoin SV guys. They've been building on UTXO type blockchains for 5 years now, maybe even longer. And so they're just experienced. They know the market, and they're, you know, decentralized. They have like a very high degree of decentralization preference, and they have no funding. So they have to go in and they got to find product market fit. We talk about the same conversation at Emblem Vault all the time. Where do you go in and find product market fit? And if you do find that, what is the, you know, percentage of you maintaining that? What are the possible ways that you could be eliminated from the market, become obsolete? So it's probably a business decision for them. Also, probably just in just like a general interest as well. So it really fits their mold. I mean, if you look at their marketplace, right? I have it here pulled up on the live stream. It's identical to literally all of their other ones. Obviously, there's minimal trading that's been happening. It looks like there's maybe there's four tokens, 4 Bell 20s. Nook, Dragon, Ordi, and Bill are the only 4 that have volume. But they created an inscription tool and a wallet using the same exact infrastructure, and they're running pretty much the same exact playbook. So right here it says Nook has 3,940 owners. And so that's a new stat for me. Almost 10 million transactions. I think it's 100 million, right? Is what it takes to get minted out. And for them, you know, if you're an ordinals marketplace, essentially what you are, at least maybe this is an ordinal wallet case, you're basically just a gamified inscription service, right? Your goal is to get as many people inscribing as possible because that's where your revenue is being made. It's not being made trading. That is quite minimal comparative to the amount of money that you can generate just through inscription services, right? This is what they do with the bitmap. Then they ran back the same playbook with NAT, right? And if you're making, 50 cents, we'll use bitmap and NAT, for example, 800,000 blocks. If you're making $1 per block, right? If they've done the block out twice, even if you get 10% of that, that's enough capital to keep your business going for a few months. And so they're running the same playbook here. I applaud them for it. They're very open guys, and they understand. I think they have a very firm understanding of where they are in the market comparative to Bells, but also comparative to the overall kind of ordinals marketplaces in general.
I think one interesting thing on the minting for them is rather than take, bells as payment for the minting, they're actually taking inscriptions as payment, which I think is really interesting.
What do you mean by that? Explain that.
So for example, if you're inscribing Nook, right, and you're inscribing 100 Nook, as payment, they take whatever the percentage is, like 5 of those 100, that's what they get paid. So they're actually, obviously they're the ones who launched Nook with this huge supply. It's going to take 100 million inscriptions. Your point is 100% valid. They feel like they're going to be the number one inscription tool. So if they have 80 million of those inscriptions and they make, I don't even know, they make 8 million of those inscriptions as payment, right? They're going to be the number one holder of Nook in the marketplace. They may already be just minting themselves. So, if you see any kind of price rise in Nook, that's how they're going to make their money, right? So
it's very similar. Yeah, this is kind of the same playbook of Unisat, right? With their BRC20 DEX, where I think we're the largest inscriber of sats, or one of the largest inscriber of sats. And now they're using those sats as the price is, appreciated literally 10,000x or whatever it is, to now go in and use those as fees. So maybe Ordinal Wallet uses the same thing where now they take that Nook and then reward their users to participate in the marketplace.
Bro, it makes me want to max mint Nook. I mean, seriously, right? If you figure if this is what they're doing, right, they're going to corner the market on it. They're going to use it as their infrastructure play. I mean, if they're literally just copying Unisat's infrastructure play, it just makes you. I mean, that's the type of thing where you're like, oh, Nook is going to be worth way more than Bell. Like that would make sense. Not financial advice, guys. I'm not saying mint Nook. I'm just saying, like that makes it interesting. For sure.
Not Nook advice. What's up, Kane?
Nice.
Gentlemen, it's been an interesting 48 hours. You know, my parents are fighting, so you know.
You talk about counterparty.
I have a really great analogy about an Asian lady in fuchsia hot pants wrecking my home. But you know, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm fine. Stiff upper lip. I'm okay. I'm all right.
Jake, maybe you want to you did a great, I'll pin it up top. Jake did a real nice breakdown of what's happening on Counterparty right now. You know, maybe for the normies in the audience, Jake, you want to give like the 30-second overview of what's actually like happening and with stamps and Counterparty and yada, yada.
Yeah. So basically, you know, the short overview is, and I know this is a little bit off topic, but they're all kind of related because it's the same community members. So JDog, who's been running Xchain is the Explorer. So it'd be similar to BellScan if you're, you know, a Bell & Knowles user. He's been maintaining this Xchain for literally 5-6 years. Xchain is the de facto place to where you, I would say, was where you were trading Counterparty before Emblem Vault. It had a DEX, it has dispensers, it has the flow of information in terms of like where the transactions are happening. JDog also runs Free Wallet, which is the wallet, right? So this would be a very similar situation with Ordinal's wallet and Bell's, where, you know, on Bell's, Ordinal's wallet runs the marketplace, they run the wallet, they run the inscription service. This is a very similar situation, but now just think about Bell's, but 5 years down the road. JDog is not a fan of SRC20, and he's not a fan of stamps. He calls them spam. It's the same, almost the same exact situation of what Ordinals is happening against some of the miners who think Ordinals are spam. It's at the heart of every Bitcoin argument every single time. So JDog, he did give them proper notice. He gave them months to say, hey, at some point, I'm going to remove numeric assets, which are stamps, from the Explorer and from the wallet. This sent everyone into chaos because they thought Counterparty is censoring stamps when realistically it's just a central entity who runs the entire infrastructure of saying, hey, I'm retiring from maintaining Counterparty. He did add 3 new individuals to the Counterparty repo, one of them being the founder of Emblem Vault, Shannon, and one of the main leaders of Rare Pepe, Joe Looney, and then JP Jansen. So very credible people. He said, we're making the Counterparty protocol more decentralized. And then I'm taking my private company, Xchain and Free Wallet, and censoring stamps. Ultimately, this ended up causing, I think, a somewhat of a fork because they're running 2 different variations of Counterparty. And so now a lot of stuff had to be paused until the community comes up with a solution. And so that's what Kane means by that they're fighting. And right now, the entire ecosystem is developing and communicating with each other, like what's the proper way to go about this. But it's just, you know, it's late stage centralization, right? Kind of like late stage capitalization, where one guy has been running the entire infrastructure for 5 years now, and he's fed up with dealing with these things. And so now he's beginning to censor it. You know, this could be something that happens on Bell's Coin as well. So it's just really something to take notice when a company is operating multiple key pieces of infrastructure. This is the same in Doginals as well, right? Like same in Doginals. It was like this in Bitcoin Ordinals for a while. It's just centralization.
On Ethereum, if Etherscan decided tomorrow, hey, we're going to censor, I don't know, dog pictures or something, you know, they could do that, right? Etherscan is a private company. It's not a public, you know, I mean, we use it all day, every day, like it's a public good, but it's not, right? It's literally a private company. So, yeah, these explorers, you realize how important explorers are. And, J-Dog rugging the stamps with his explorer doesn't change the underlying asset. I mean, that's the thing you realize when you start learning about, blockchains, but it does cause a lot of pain. And especially when these explorers are connected to, websites, markets, all this other stuff, it breaks, it literally breaks, tech. And so, yeah, you got to fix it.
Yeah. Something to pay attention to. Go ahead, Ken.
When the elephants are fighting, the grass gets trampled. And I think I got a straight answer out of Mike, which in the chat, which I was very honest. And there's as anything else, I don't have a side, and because I don't have a side, I have a side. Because I don't have a bag of anything. I'm never like motivated by what I'm holding in my wallet. I'm always just like, hey guys, this is what's best for everybody. Like, how you all turned a stockbroker into like a commie is fucking crazy, about nuts. And my friends think I'm nuts. So it's just about the numeric. And there's the other argument is when Ordinal started, and I was there. I was not there. I wasn't at his house, but I remember I have sub 1,000. Like I have them. I have one. Yeah, a little bit. I've been around. So I remember that interview where it was like, counterparty, ew. I remember how that made me
For sure. Yep. It's a shit coin, right? That's what he said. Yep.
Bitcoin. But Stamp's response to that was, we're going to show you, but we're going to show you by validating what you said and treating it like a shit coin, and we're only using numerics because it's free, and we're going to ignore anything about using counterparty. But we're onboarding people, but don't worry, they'll never know who you are because we're never going to let them see you because we're only using this because it's free. And it put a big strain on, let's say, an already weary mind. So I think that it's for me, it sucks, but I know that good things will come out of it. And what I've been telling myself the last couple days is Counterparty's been around for 10 years. It's older. The X chain is older than ETH. X chain, not Counterparty, X chain. It's older than ETH. The transactions that it's showing are older than the blockchains that people think that we're copying. And that's awesome. It's not going anywhere. And it's a Dothraki wedding, man. Like, this is how shit gets done, unfortunately. Like, yeah, I had a plate right in front of me. It's all good. My table just got flipped over. People are fighting. The dude just got stabbed. But that's to be expected at a Dothraki wedding. Anything less than 17 killings is a dull affair. But when it's done, everything gets better and everyone gets to be friends again. And as I've been told from people who are a lot older and smarter than me, this is kind of how it works. And you have to let it work. Yep. So while that's happening, I'm saying it to say it. To tell you guys, and also to make myself feel better while I'm audibly saying this. Moving dust into Emblem Vault to keep myself busy. Because Emblem Vault has superior technology and they don't give a fuck what's going on with none of that stuff. They will make sure everything's working good, I imagine, right? Yeah, everything's working good. So everything's working great. And put on a happy face. So that's coming to Eve. That's what I'll be doing for the rest of the next couple of days is vaulting my assets and putting some secret surprises in some of them and making everything shiny and sparkly because the future is bright.
Well, maybe we want to talk, Jake, about the Thursday show.
So on Thursday, we're talking with J-Dog and Dogfather about BTNS. And so you'll get a more firm understanding of J-Dog's reasoning. J-Dog will be on the stage explaining. I'm sure we'll cover some of the controversy, but you'll also understand from his perspective because he's really been made out as a villain, which I don't think is the right way. Yes, I do disagree with the decision wholeheartedly, but he's now following his interests outside of maintenance and wants to pursue capitalistic endeavors in terms of BTNS, which is something he tried to introduce on Counterparty in light of removing SRC20. Didn't really take off, and now he has this opportunity. So Thursday show will be very good. I'm really excited to hear about that. Yeah, so that'll be cool. Yeah, thanks for that information, Kane. Go ahead. Adam, is there anything else or anything to look forward to? Are there any updates upcoming or anything major in the Bells coin ecosystem that should be noted or people should be paying attention to?
Well, the biggest thing is we're in talks right now with people to try and basically do merge mining. Merge mining right now, people are just mining it on their own using ASIC miners. So obviously a lot of pools have gotten on top of it. And, a lot of people don't like the miners. Look, proof of work blockchains don't work without miners. So what we're in talks and trying to figure out and trying to move forward is this idea of merge mining, which basically allows with this type of script blockchain for miners to mine multiple chains at the same time. And so right now, Litecoin and Dogecoin are basically mined at the same time. Basically, if I have a miner, I can mine both at the same time concurrently. We're trying to get into that system so that miners can mine Litecoin as well as Bells at the same time. That's called merge mining. That is the thing that would basically secure Bells for the next 50 years. That is the number one goal right now. Some people have said, well, why not just let them fail and let it come back to computer mining on my PC again? That really doesn't secure the blockchain, right? Us mining on computers, right? A couple guy with a few ASICs can basically 51% attack the chain, right? So we want to get integrated into this merge mining protocol to basically secure the chain. And, so I was literally in DMs today with some people I'm not going to name, but trying to make this happen. That's the big thing on the horizon that we're trying to do because it's the most important step to like securing the blockchain. So that is what is in the works. It is not an easy thing to do. Surprisingly, most stuff in blockchains, as you learn, is not fucking easy at all. And so we've had some incredible help and assistance, but this is going to be a big lift. And so, that's the main thing we're working on kind of behind the scenes.
I did see somebody post, and maybe this is just somebody just speculating or asking for help. Somebody, I don't know who the account was, had mentioned that the Bells coin should look into adding SegWit support, and that it would drastically improve the scale of transactions on the chain. Was that a serious conversation that's been taking place?
Serious conversation. Yes, that's absolutely. Well, I shouldn't say absolutely going to happen, but absolutely the devs want that to happen. 100%. Yes.
And can you explain what SegWit is, at least to the best of your knowledge, if you know?
So to the best of my knowledge, it allows it allows the amount you want to put into blocks to be much more efficient than what is currently. And if you've been trying to inscribe, you realize, and it's been posted, whatever, there's 150 or 200,000 transactions pending, right? Waiting in the mempool, waiting to clear, right? SegWit would basically help speed that up by just efficiency of like how you store data or how much data can be stored in each transaction and all this sort of thing. So yeah, that's definitely, there is no roadmap, but the devs have that as one of the key things to basically make happen for sure.
Yeah, you're right. And the killer, man, I've tried to add you on stage like 40 times. Oh, looks like finally added you. I don't know what the issue was. Yeah, so SegWit was, if you were around in 2017, that was the entire contention around the Bitcoin Cash fork, was the implementation of SegWit. And obviously it did. And then SegWit then allowed Taproot to be enabled. Taproot cannot exist without SegWit, from my understanding. And with Taproot is how Bitcoin ordinals were born, where you can have up to 4 megabytes in a single block using some sort of technical liaison that is a little bit above my pay grade of understanding.
Yeah, mine too.
What's up, Doc Father?
Yeah, I mean, the fun thing with SegWit on Bells would be you would be ahead of Dogecoin. That would be an interesting outcome. That this dead for a few years and then coming back and then has so much momentum that you have like tech in place that even the Dogecoin Foundation was not able to figure out and to get updated. So that would be really interesting.
Yeah, as far as my understanding goes, and it's obviously very, very limited, but what I understand with Dogecoin was the devs were forced because of like the incredible rise of Dogecoin and how like the blockchain just became very popular very quickly. They had to make some early choices that basically force their hand and are immutable and they can't change going forward. And so they were, forced it. It's not like they could just, they may want SegWit now, they just can't do it. Right. So it's the type of thing that they made someone, choices that they were forced to make early on, which have resulted in them, not having that flexibility later. So yeah, in theory, Bells, because it's, 10 years on or whatever, actually has those opportunities now.
I have a question. Like I'm trying to help my DAO to get familiar with Bells. I get a lot of questions from members. The first one is how long it take to a transaction if it was like sent with low fees in the main pool. How long it takes to be dropped and canceled? Like Bitcoin, it takes 4 hours to a week. Now in Bells, I don't have an answer exactly.
I don't have an answer either. I don't know, and I don't know if anybody really knows what the drop time is. Do not know. I know people who've had Bitcoin transactions stuck for over a month, right?
I think it's 2 weeks is the drop time on Bitcoin.
Is it 2 weeks now?
I think so.
Yep.
So there is a drop. Like this option is available in mempool. So if the transaction was filled, maybe after 2 weeks, it will be canceled automatically.
It could be. I honestly don't know. I don't have that answer. We should ask in the Discord and see if anybody's figured that out yet.
Yeah, I would look. It's probably mimics Dogecoin since Billy created Bells Coin. Was it 8 days before Dogecoin? They probably have a lot of shared properties.
Yep.
So the answer, there is no
answers. We don't know.
Answers,
don't know.
Yeah, no idea.
I have one stuck right now. I can't mint anymore right now. It's been, I don't even know, multiple days. I made the mistake of using my old gas fee, and yeah, I don't know. It's just wait and see.
I'd ask a miner. Miner probably knows.
Maybe. Yeah, it's a bummer, but I don't know.
What happens when you restart blockchain, man? A lot of incomplete information, especially because back in 2013, right? This was before the Gitbook days. This was like even before the white paper days, really. I mean, white paper is what was presented for Bitcoin, but in 2013, that was the first real altcoin boom, and people were just launching food tokens and meme coins, and without just any type of potential utility. It was just being launched because people were fascinated that you could even do this, right? So you got to put yourself back in that time. We're dealing with 2013 technology, but now we're going to implement 2024 tech, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, totally.
I did some research about the main pool. I found that it was made in Explorer, Blockstream Explorer. So I trying to contact like the main business owners of this platform. Like they need to make a lot of changes to the main pool, especially the interface. It's very hard, man. It's very hard to deal with that main pool.
Yeah, just remember this just launched.
Bro, if you want to fix it, please fix it. Like if you want to build something, please build it. Like yes, 100%. I mean, I agree. It sucks. Totally, bro. Yeah, this is the crappiest blockchain on earth, bro. It's from 2013, man. This is the worst blockchain on the planet right now, hands down. This is, like, if you want efficiency, Psy is right there for you, waiting, man. Free transactions, instant settlement. Like, this is not that. This is 2013. It's an old clunky Model T car, and we got it up and running, and it's barely running, and it's a miracle we're actually able to do anything with it. And if you want to build on it, God bless you, man. I'll support you. I will tweet about it. I will talk about it. But yeah, it's clunky, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna try about that. Even there is no minimum information like dates and time. Oh my God.
Oh
Even-
my God. How's it even running? It's impossible, dude. How is this blockchain not even stopped? It should just stop. Like, it should just stop. It's a miracle it's running, bro.
Got to use your intuition, man. That's where the real opportunity lies. I made this post about Counterparty recently too, with the issue is that, you know, when one central entity leaves, this leaves a huge power vacuum for somebody to come in and build, whether it's one builder or multiple builders. Here, there was no central leader. It is just, you're in that stage now where there is literally dozens of opportunities, whether you want to do it in mining, infrastructure, right, NFTs, whatever. And I think this is where we're all kind of coalescing around. But it's funny, Chris and I were talking about this the other day. You know, when we got into crypto in 2016, there was no tutorials. There was nothing. Literally, you were just typing into Twitter, trying to find information on Twitter. And hopefully there you could find some keywords on Reddit. Like, that was literally the only thing that existed at the time. It's a very similar situation here. You just gotta use your strengths to push forward and build
Try and figure it out. Like, no, trust me, nobody is, I mean, well, there are a couple of devs who know exactly what they're doing and can fix everything for themselves and get their mints running. But almost all of us normal people are like, I'm searching Discord, like, oh, I got this error message. Has anybody else got it? Well, yeah, 50 other people had this same error message. Is there like one simple fix? No. Like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Mempool's still stuck. Wallet doesn't work. Like, yeah, it's clunky as fuck, man. Period. Full stop.
Yeah. What's up, Yasmaz?
Hey, well, I mean, it's very interesting, guys. All the conversations here are basically to the point. I just want to first ask a question about the website billscribe.com. Is it working better than Ordinance? And
no idea. Give it. That's why I said give it a try with very little. I have no idea. Graham just, Graham is just, if you don't know, the guy who built it was the first person to actually get an inscription working on Bells. So
yeah, he has Inscription 0, right?
Yeah, he has Inscription 0. And so he built it, like a week ago or 5 days ago? I don't know. But it basically crashed. The number of people who were using it basically crashed it and stuff was getting stuck. So he's been working since then to get it up and running again. So just mint a little, try it. I have no idea how it's working. If it's working well, zero clue. So just try it a little bit. Try it a little. Don't go crazy.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot, man.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Yeah, I found that Buildscribe website before entering the main Discord, Build Discord, and I try it. I tried to mint an NFT. I did the payments. The payment was successfully, but I didn't receive that.
Yeah.
After that, the state was crashed. I don't remember the order, so I'm gonna try to mint the whole collection using that website. And if I found some problem, I will try. The moment I enter this Bell blockchain, I'm ready to lose money. But
that's a good strategy, brother. That's a strategy I can get behind. Look, the moment I started doing this, my whole purpose was I'm going to lose money. That is it. Yeah. Now you've perfectly described Bell. This is like that's a strategy.
I think I lost like 25% from my capital, but I'm not going to stop because this is the next opportunity. This is the next Bitcoin. I don't want to stop, so I'm trying everything. I have a lot of problems, maybe more than you have, but I'm gonna find a solution for that. I'm trying to share with the community. I even have my own DAO, my own community. I'm trying to give them the opportunity to be part of the Bell blockchain, or be the first to mint, be the first to get benefits, and be the first users for this blockchain. So shout out to Bell.
Man, I love the hustle, man. I mean, look, Jake and I, we've seen it, man. Like, if you're early and you push through the pain, like it's not guaranteed, but you may win, right? I did not push through the pain in ordinals, and I missed. I did push through the pain in stamps. Like I figured out stamps, and I have a bunch of early, you know, sub 200, sub 100 stamps. Like, you know, so I won there big time, right? And it was hard, and it was expensive. Like to do stamps was like $150.
It was insane in the beginning.
Like it was so crazy at the beginning, and I told my wife, like, look, I just spent like $5,000 minting stamps. And she was like, how much? She freaked, and I was like, but look, man, it may be worthless, but this also may be generational wealth. Like I may have made a shit ton of money on that, right? You know, and that's the risk we take in crypto, right? I mean, you know, you hope it works out, you think it might work out, and you go with your gut and you know, push through. But we have also seen that if it's hard, that is often an indicator that you are so early. If it's most people can't do it, that is a very good indicator that most people are not in it yet, and it's possible you're very early.
My wife is like supporting me in that, so I'm gonna lose more money in that.
Yeah, that best way. So bucksor.org on the live stream says, hey guys, when did we hit 10 million? Do you have an ETA timestamp?
Adam, yesterday.
Yeah. And then he says, I inscribed a collection, want to know if it was within the range. So if you inscribed before yesterday, then you're before 10 million.
Yeah. Congrats, man. Yeah.
Congrats. Yeah. If anyone has any other questions, please ask away. If not, then we're going to close this up and wrap it up. And we'll try to do a Bells show once a month. I think is probably a good trend to keep updated. I know Adam's probably living in the space or living in the Discord consistently. This guy goes MIA every other day. He's like, yeah, I've been trying to solve whatever the situation is because Bell's coin has an existential crisis, it seems, every day.
Just trying to keep it running, man. Just trying to not have the blockchain die. That is my number one goal. It is the number one thing I'm focused on. I try to help in the Discord. You guys see me in the Discord. I try to solve problems for people, try to get people to be able to inscribe and stuff. But my number one focus is to try and keep this blockchain running, because it is not decided. It could die, and so my number one purpose with Bells is to keep it running, so all these efforts don't go wasted. So that's my number one goal.
All right, we'll go to Chris and close up with Dogfather.
Hey, just wanted to plug the sales bot up top as usual. It's really the easiest way to track cross-chain sales, especially as we add more curated collections from Emblem Vault. There's been a serious noticeable tick up in high value rare Pepe sales lately. So definitely something to keep an eye on. And yeah, just follow along. That'll be a good time.
Hell yeah. Love the plug. Make sure you guys follow the sales bot, follow Emblem. Also follow Chris, the newest member of the Emblem team. What's up, Dogfather? Take us home.
Yeah, huge props to Billy McBride for taking care of it. highly appreciate it, man. It's your baby. You have to take care of it. Let's run it to 0 or 2 million. We will see. I would love to chill the Thursday X space that we guys are planning with Emblem Vault with the BTNS community. So that's something really interesting, and that's also one of the reasons why JDog doesn't have too much time or capacity for the stamps and SSC20, because he's building a new fungible protocol on Counterparty called BTNS. So yeah, if you're interested in being like really early, so tune in to Thursday's show. Yeah, see you there, man. Have a good day. Have a good time until then. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. We do. Andy.jpg just came on stage. Do you have a final question, or you just want to come hang out?
I'm just here to hang out. Thanks for bringing me up, guys.
Yeah, we're actually closing up right now. So
perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
You need to give a role for the early members in your Discord, like early supporter. That's why the community will feel like they are home. You need to think about that.
Okay.
Like giving an early members like that OG.
Cool. Add the roles.
Maybe the first 10,000 we could do that. It's probably right about now. That's a good idea. Like that.
Everybody loves a good trinkets in the Discord. Everyone wants it to be showcased. So everybody, appreciate you for coming. If you don't know, myself, Adam, Chris, the Emblem account, Dogfather, we host a show Tuesday through Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. We focus on everything from multi-chain, ordinals, inscriptions, collecting, cross-chain protocols. We're covering it all around the focus of collecting and building cool ecosystems. Tomorrow, we are hosting NFTFi, the top borrowing and lending NFT platform on Ethereum. They are adding support for Spells of Genesis and Rare Pepe. So you will now be able to go take your Rare Pepes and Spells of Genesis and go participate in their point Ponzi that they got going on over there. Just as seems like every ETH NFT's got points. They got points, dude. Go put your Rare Pepes to work. Go borrow against them. We're going to go talk with them. They are actually quite interested in all of our inscription curated collection. So maybe we can convince them to add bells at some point in the future. Also, little alpha drop, stay and pay attention to Emblem Vault over the next month. Hopefully we may have our own contribution to the bells ecosystem. So we are working on something behind the scenes. It'll be a lot of time. But man, it is hard building this shit in the background. So we were hoping it would have been out by today, but it's not. So pay attention. Make sure you follow everyone on stage. And until then, guys, we'll see you tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.